Welcome to TalkU, where we talk about popular culture and Brock Badger's topics. I'm Michelle Hughes, and I'm a film major at Brock.
I'm Taylor Lewis, and I'm also a film major at Brock.
I'm Angel Pantanarak, and I'm a kinesiology major at Brock.
All right, so the first topic we're going to talk about today is marijuana versus alcohol. So in the news, there's been a lot of topics surrounding the legalization of marijuana, particularly in the states of Washington and California. So there's a lot of stereotypes about marijuana being addictive and that there's no real medical benefits to it, and that it could be a gateway to a lot of harsher drugs. So what do you guys think about that?
I think there are medical benefits because doctors now prescribe it to patients as a pain relief. So they're obviously prescribing it for a certain reason.
I don't know a lot about marijuana actually, but growing up I've heard a lot about it being the gateway drug.
Depends on like how old you are, and like, you know, I think it depends on the person and where you come from, because if you're talking about in terms of the states, there are a lot of issues with like drugs, and like it does, and I have a strong belief it does depend on like the social issues and like what's going on in a city. So if you're in a bad part of the neighborhood, maybe marijuana is and can be a gateway drug to harsher things. A lot of people who just use pot and won't use any other drugs. So I don't really see how, I think it could be a gateway drug, but I don't really think I think it depends on a lot of other factors.
It does depend on the person as well, because there are, like you said, a lot of people that don't like stray to other drugs just from using marijuana. But other people will be like, oh, sick, I'm gonna try crack next.
I feel like maybe they should have things where we can get more information about marijuana, so then like there would be less of this abuse happening.
Yeah.
Because with alcohol, like we know if you drink over this certain amount, this is what's gonna happen, but for weed, we don't really know a lot about that.
It's always just legalize it. They don't really say either. So it'd be cool if we got better, less negative maybe, and, like
and more of a positive view on it.
And like, if not for recreational use, definitely for medical use, because if you're going to introduce something, I feel like it'd be definitely a lot better to just introduce it that way, because then see marijuana as positive and helping people as opposed to this drug that leads to other harmful things. Definitely is some medical benefits, and having cancer run in my family who have used marijuana, and it does make them feel better. But the thing about is when you do prescribe a drug, like there are people out there who will take advantage of it. So there are people who might like fake it and like, you know, use it for the wrong reasons. But I definitely think like if there are those people who, if marijuana can help somebody feel better, then I don't see any harm in it.
When do they prescribe marijuana? Like at what point?
I don't know, that's a good question.
Well, my cousin has prescribed marijuana, but he has like a back injury. So it depends on like a severity, I guess, of your injury.
I wonder what age.
Yeah, really, like an age thing. And it's like really like, of all things, like what could, like, it's like, when is marijuana, like, is it like a last resort? Is it like a first resort? Like when you go like to the doctor, it's like, okay, here's some marijuana, like all your problems are fixed. So that's definitely an interesting question too.
In the article, Let's Balance Medical Need with Common Sense, Julianne Thompson discusses that marijuana helps children and adults with hundreds of seizures a week. She goes on to say, the fact is, anything can be abused, but when a substance's medical use outweighs its potential for abuse, it would be foolish, even cruel, to ban its use. And the most important point to make on this hybrid cannabis oil is that it is not smoked. It doesn't make one high, and it is low in THC.
I don't know. I find it interesting though that it's Julianne Thompson discusses how marijuana helps children. I wouldn't give my child weed.
That's tough too, because sometimes kids they get diagnosed with cancer at such a young age, and maybe their life expectancy isn't going to be that long.
It's helping them, so if your kid needs it and they're not smoking it or getting high, then why not? If it's going to help them, why not give it to them?
They're prescribing morphine and other drugs to kids at young ages, so they could also do that with marijuana if it's being used properly.
There's such a stigma around marijuana because it is illegal in so many different places. Would it be as easy as taking Tylenol or Advil or like whatever? You just give it to your kid, but in a different form. You don't smoke it, you don't whatever. Then maybe it would be a lot different. All right, Elizabeth Weiss refers to Gitlow again, saying a frequent argument is that marijuana is safer because users don't drop dead immediately while you can overdose and die from ingesting alcohol, said Gitlow. But nobody dies immediately from smoking cigarettes either, he said. that doesn't make them any less dangerous. Is marijuana comparable to cigarettes? What do you guys think?
No, not at all.
Not even close. I don't think so.
Not even close. First of all, cigarettes have so many ingredients in it. Like there's rat poison in it. There's like
bleach.
acetone, bleach. Like there's the most disgusting crap in those things, and like affects other people as well. Like around secondhand smoke, your lungs will turn black and you get lung cancer. Whereas from marijuana, it's herbal, it's natural, it's a plant. So the like effects of it aren't even close.
Get the nicotine and you become addicted to cigarettes.
Yeah.
And even you don't have to smoke marijuana if you don't want to. I don't think it's even close to comparable to cigarettes at all.
I heard that Albert Einstein was high.
Yeah, Albert Einstein was the biggest druggie ever. He was. And like that's why like a lot of like
Beatles wrote their best
pot
songs.
smokers, they all have like these T-shirts with Albert Einstein on them with like smoke coming out of his mouth because he was like a huge weed smoker. He goes on to say that he's worried about the effect on youth. Should there be an age restriction like alcohol with criminal penalties for those underage and those who sell them?
Dealing, like it makes it seem so much more like sketchy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because alleyways, meet me
like,
here, man.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
If they were to legalize it, they could sell it the same way they sell alcohol.
Yeah.
Like have their own LCBO, but for pot instead. But I think like if it's not legal, you have no control as to what age you need to restrict. The drinking age in Canada is 19, but how many people have underage drink? So.
But then again, if you think if I was a parent and like my kid went to school, I wouldn't want my kid like recreationally smoking weed on school grounds, or like I wouldn't want
or drunk.
Even at Brock, like I wouldn't want like a whole like if everyone in my class like. I don't know, I feel like a lot of film students are stoners. Like, I don't know. But I feel like I wouldn't want to be in class and have everyone like stoned out of their minds, you know what I mean? Like
it'll make the movies a lot better.
It might. Yeah, so like what about like the differences between like driving drunk and driving high? What do you guys think?
I just don't think the effect is the same.
Just as like safety concern, like I wouldn't do it. I don't know why anyone would want like
why would you would want to?
But that's the same thing with everything. Like alcohol, texting, because really you don't have to be texting while you drive.
Yeah. Whole nother addiction on its own.
Like it's just anything. I think with driving, like there's so many alternatives too. Like you could take a cab. Take public transportation. There's so many other things. So if you wanted to be high or drunk on a moving vehicle, then you could do that, but not be the person behind the wheel.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to everyone.
Or it's like the same thing with having like a DD, get someone else to drive the car.